everyone, K-Marie here again with another atypical video format. So, I've been a clipper in the VTuber community for almost a year now, and honestly this channel has grown so much larger than I ever would have expected. Clips are how I originally became a VTuber fan, and it's why I feel so passionate about this channel. And I hope through this channel I've been able to help bring more attention and love to some of my favorite VTubers. Clipping in the VTuber space, especially in the corporate VTuber space, is so important to helping support our Oshis. And it's honestly a lot simpler to get into than you might expect. So that's why I'm here to provide some tips on how you can get started clipping for yourself. So whether you're just a fan like me, a Twitter clipper interested in making a YouTube channel with longer form content, or an actual VTuber who wants to make more edited content to promote themselves, I hope I can provide some basic insight into clipping and editing for those looking for somewhere to start. But before I get into the tips, if you're watching this video, you're probably a VTuber fan, just like I am. And maybe like me, you've been intrigued about starting VTubing yourself, but find the whole task of finding a model to be really daunting and expensive. Well, Draw Market is a new site to the international market where you can find tons of customizable or pre-made VTuber models starting as low as $2. Just like this one, which I got for only $6. With thousands of verified artists, secured payment, and no AI, it's a great resource to look for when you're just starting to get into streaming. And if you're not interested in VTubing yourself, there's also tons of artists to commission for art of your Oshis, favorite characters, OCs, and Yumisonos, as well as stream assets and so much more. I ordered these two commissions from artists myself on the site and found it incredibly easy to use with fast turnaround times and easy checkout. And honestly, they're super cute and great quality for the price. And if you're curious to look at other things that Draw Market has to offer, you can check out the link in the description today. And now, back with your clipping tips. There are a few different things I'll be talking about in this video that cover all aspects of clipping and editing, so I'll leave timestamps in the video for those who may want to jump around to certain areas. Some of these will be more specific to clipping as a VTuber fan, while some will just be some more general editing tips. Here's a quick list of the topics I'll be covering in this video. Now, I am by no means a professional. I don't really make clips of my own stream content, and I run this channel as a hobby. I'm not tapped into things like algorithms and the like, so I can't really provide a lot of advice in terms of that. These will mainly just be things I learned while running this channel that I think others would benefit in knowing too, because we don't gatekeep here. Something that I don't think is stated very well or very often when giving advice on clipping, especially in the corporate VTuber space, is to make sure you are familiar with the derivative works guidelines for the companies of the VTubers you want to clip, or with the personal preferences of indie VTubers if they have any. Any Color, Cover, and FSP, who are the companies I happen to clip the most, all have very similar but different guidelines when it comes to derivative works. These derivative works guidelines often cover things like fan art, clipping, monetization, and other things that have to do with the actual IP that these companies own. Most of these statements have a section specifically for clipping, so I recommend reading over them before you start. For example, Cover specifically wishes that clips do not be posted until a stream has ended or the VOD is archived, while other companies do not have this same rule. It should be common sense, but clipping anything from a membership or paywall content is strictly prohibited in almost every case and should not be circulated. Making sure you take a quick look at the clipping guidelines for a company, or taking a quick look at your favorite indie VTubers community and whether or not they actually want any clips of their content, is always an important first step, just to avoid any misunderstandings that may arise in the future. Moving on to editing software. Now, there are tons of different free editing software you can use to get started on clipping. My favorite among them being DaVinci Resolve. This program is PC only, so it's not something you can use if you do clipping on your phone or an iPad, but if you have access to a PC or laptop, I highly recommend it. It may look a bit intimidating at first, but it's honestly not hard to use at all, and there are tons of video tutorials available on how to use specific functions of it. It has tons of great capabilities even on the free version, which is what I currently use and have been using since starting this entire channel. A handful of the tips I'll give later in the video will be DaVinci Resolve specific. I personally don't have much experience with other video editing software other than DaVinci Resolve, but I have friends who are clippers as well and who all use a variety of different free programs that come highly recommended from them. This includes programs such as Clipchamp, Canva, VSDC, Blender, And if you're using an iPad or a phone, CapCut and Perfect Video are great choices as well. And honestly, you can edit really simple clips just by using your phone's in-app clipping tool if you really are in a pinch, but find a stream moment you really want the rest of the world to see. There are tons and tons of free video editing software out there, and honestly, to find one that works best for you, you just gotta try out different ones. There is no wrong answer when it comes to what software you edit with, and being comfortable using the software you choose is really what matters the most when it comes to editing. This brings us to the next most important part of stream clipping and editing, downloading VODs and stream moments. There are a couple of different things I like to do for this. This will mainly involve things that can be done on a PC or laptop, because I don't really do a lot of clipping from my phone. If you want to download full VOD straight from YouTube, my go-to program is 4K Video Downloader. This is a free software that you can download very easily. You simply paste the link of the VOD you want to download, and it will start downloading the entire thing, and will save it to a folder of your choosing. This program allows you to download up to 10 videos a day for free, and it has no restrictions on the length of the videos, which makes it great for stream VODs that are usually hours long. Even with all of the multi-POV clips I've made, I've never really run into the 10 videos a day limit being a problem for me, and if I did, simply waiting another day to get another download wouldn't be much of an issue. Twitch VODs, on the other hand, are a little bit more difficult since this program doesn't work on those. For this specific reason, I have another program I use called YTDLP. This works very similar to 4K Video Downloader. You paste in a link to a Twitch VOD and it starts downloading it. But it is a little bit more intimidating as you have to download the source code from GitHub. This is actually originally a command line program, but I found something that creates an interface for it that makes it much easier to use. This program also works on YouTube videos as well as videos from a wide range of other sites as well, and also doesn't come with a download limit. So in theory, this is really the only program you would need. However, I would still recommend 4K Video Downloader for most things. It is just much more user-friendly and a little bit less intimidating for the average person. And I've also run into issues with it in the past where it would just stop working, and quite frankly, I'm not tech savvy enough to really know how to troubleshoot it when stuff like that does happen. So 4K Video Downloader is always a good backup choice for YouTube. However, downloading VODs is obviously going to take up a lot of space on your laptop and PC, and sometimes you just don't have the space to be doing that all the time. And sometimes it's not even necessary to have the entire VOD of a stream if you're just looking to clip a few minute-long segment from something. This is where OBS comes in. This is a free open source software that you can use for screen recording, as well as being the software most streamers use for live streaming as well. It is very easy to set up, and all you need to do is have it pulled up in the background, hit start recording, and bring up a portion of VOD you wish to record. Once you hit stop recording, it automatically saves your video to a folder you specify, and it's ready for editing. And because OBS is so widely used in the streaming community as well, there are tons of tutorials on how to use it if you do end up running into any issues. Next, here's a few quick and easy to access resources from some miscellaneous things that I've used for editing. Royalty-free music. I actually get this through YouTube's own royalty-free music library. You can access the audio library when in YouTube Studio, and it's very easy to sort through a variety of different songs based on genre or mood. They also have quite a lot of sound effects free of use as well. However, if this isn't enough for you, the site Pixabay also has a long list of royalty-free sound effects free for use as well. If you're looking for interesting fonts to use either for subtitling, thumbnails, or anything else, take a look at 1001 font. You can filter for free text and download any of them to install onto your PC, but make sure to give a quick look at the README text documents if you want to double-check the licensing agreements on them. Also, here's another miscellaneous tip that can also involve subtitles, but also just general framing and visibility on vertical content specifically. I'll be referring to YouTube Shorts here, but a similar concept applies for TikTok as well. You want to be aware that when a short is being viewed, quite a lot of the screen will be covered in the YouTube UI, which can make a lot of things much less legible depending on how you're editing your clips. So you want to frame your clip, subtitles, and any other accents really dead in the center or top of the clip, as the bottom half and right side will end up affecting the visibility. Now, onto thumbnails. This isn't something that's required if you're clipping for a platform like Twitter or nearly as important for short-form vertical content like TikTok or YouTube Shorts, but it is unfortunately an extremely necessary part of clipping on YouTube like I do. And now, I will be the first to admit, this is not a strong suit of mine at all. A lot of my own thumbnails really kind of just end up being graphic design is my passion and I call it a day. However, a good thumbnail can really help out in gaining more traction on a clip. A quick and easy way to make them if you don't really have the time to spend agonizing over them is to take a quick PNG of the VTubers present in the clip, stick them in a collage, and add a funny text on screen as well. This is what I do almost all the time when making my own thumbnails. Adding a white border around the PNGs can also often help make a thumbnail stand out and is a useful thing to add. The way I get most of my VTuber PNGs is by simply taking a screenshot of a stream moment and then using a free background removal website to get a transparent PNG to use. My website of choice for these is remove.bg, but there are other free options that exist out there as well. If a VTuber happens to have a debut 2.0 stream or something similar where they are toggling expressions or something of the like on a green background, you can also use that and chroma key out the background. That is a much better option other than removing the background through an automatic site, but not all VTubers have this available. Another thing to consider is setting up a template or common format to use for your thumbnail. This will not only help save a little time when creating thumbnails, but also help you develop a certain style you use when making thumbnails, which can help fans recognize your videos or clips by thumbnail alone. Once you make enough thumbnails, you will likely begin to create a thumbnail style of your own without even realizing it, but it definitely doesn't hurt to try to create a style with more intent. And if you're concerned on how your thumbnail will actually look when you upload a video, you can put your thumbnail into a site called Thumbnail Tester to place your thumbnail on a fake YouTube feed to see how it will look when others view your video when it is uploaded. This is good for checking things like legibility with any text you might have on your thumbnail, and also seeing what part of your thumbnail will end up getting covered by the timestamp in the bottom right corner. As for thumbnail editing software to use, there are tons and tons of software options available, and I unfortunately can't provide the most helpful advice here as the two programs I use for making thumbnails are Adobe Illustrator and Clip Studio Paint, which are both paid programs. However, I would recommend Canva as a good free resource to start with. I've heard many good things about it as a thumbnail editor. You can realistically use any free art or photo editing program to make your thumbnails. All you really need is to have the ability to put text on an image and layer images on top of each other, and you can just use a still from the actual video as a thumbnail if it comes down to it. A clip without a thumbnail is still a clip. Lastly, here are just a handful of organizational tips I have that help me out when running the channel. These are things that are probably common sense to most people, but I figure I'd throw them in here at the end just in case anyone was new to YouTube and happened to not know any of these things, or I'd never considered organizing things in this way. Firstly, you can set a default video description on YouTube. When you're in YouTube Studio, you go to Settings, Upload Defaults, and you can add anything in here you want to appear in every video description. Here I just keep all my links and basic things like VOD source and featured members. Any VTuber PNG that I've made and used in a thumbnail in the past, I keep it and I save it in a folder. This makes it so much easier for me to sort through when making thumbnails, so I can look through it and take from what I already have if there's something I like before I go and make something new. Similar to this, I have a Google Doc with the YouTuber, Twitch, and social media links of every VTuber I've ever clipped before. This makes it significantly easier for me to write out proper credits in my video descriptions. Before I even made this channel, I had this document with Hollowstars, FSP, and Niji Sanji because I knew I would almost definitely clip everyone from one of those companies eventually, and it really helped me out when making video descriptions. And along the way, I've added in quite a lot of other indies as well over my time clipping District V intensively and a lot of other collabs. Almost all derivative content guidelines ask for the original stream VOD to be linked in the description of a clip, but I find it nice to also include the streaming site and social medias of anyone in the clip as well, just to make finding them easier for anyone who might be new to watching them. And that's it! That's K-Marie's beginner tips for getting started with clipping. I hope someone out there finds this video helpful and hopefully finds the barrier to entry of clipping a little bit less intimidating. If anyone ever has any questions on clipping or specifics of any editing I do on this channel, feel free to leave a comment on this video or leave a message on my Straw page, and I'm always happy to help out anyone. And if there happens to be any really cool VTubers out there watching this video who don't want to deal with all the editing garbage, I'm open for editing commissions. Hit me up. Okay, bye!